Hey, welcome to the Game Loop Recap, your shortcut to the week's biggest gaming news.
Yep, lots to cover this week.
Definitely. We've got the latest on Nintendo Switch 2, pricing, tariff worries, and some thoughts from Reggie Fils-Aime, too.
Always interesting to hear from Reggie.
Right. We're also looking at Star Citizen hitting another huge funding number, Ubisoft's stance on game ownership with The Crew, that whole situation.
Oh yeah, the digital ownership debate continues.
And Hades 2 coming to Switch, the final big Baldur's Gate 3 update, Diablo 4's 2025 plans, including something console players really want.
Mouse and keyboard.
You got it. Plus, Date Everything gets a release date, Sabrina Carpenter in Fortnite, a Mafia leak, Minecraft movie Madness, and Angry Birds 3 announced.
Yo. Okay, let's jump in. Nintendo first.
Yeah, let's start with Switch 2. That Mario Kart World price, $75, $80, really got people talking.
It's steep, no doubt. Doug Bowser responded, didn't he, to the Washington Post?
He did. He used the term variable pricing, said it wasn't a benchmark, but reflected the game's breadth and depth.
Variable pricing. So not every big first-party game will be that price, potentially.
That seems to be the implication. We saw Donkey Kong Bonanza listed at $65, $70. Still high, but lower.
And then the Switch 2 Welcome Tour is way down at, like, £5.
Yeah, which sounds more like a demo or an intro thing. They are offering a bundle with Mario Kart World at a discount, but details are still fuzzy.
And it's worth noting, Bowser said this before the whole U.S. pre-order delay happened because of the tariff situation.
Good point. Oh, and there's that Nintendo Korea leak suggesting a returning location for Mario Kart World. They're building the hype machine.
It's fascinating how that pricing talk then led into Reggie Fils-Aime posting about pack-in games. Perfect timing, really.
It really was. He was talking about pushing for Wii Sports to be free with the Wii back in the day. Didn't mention Switch 2, but, you know, the connection's obvious.
Right. He mentioned having to sort of convince Miyamoto about Wii Sports and even Wii Play bundles. Sounds like it wasn't an easy sell internally.
Makes you wonder what those conversations are like now at Nintendo for the Switch 2 launch, doesn't it?
Totally. But Reggie pointed out how huge Wii Sports was because it was bundled in the West. It became a cultural thing.
Absolutely massive. And Wii Play, bundled with the remote, sold incredibly well, too.
So you look at that success, and then you see Switch 2 Welcome Tour as a $10 digital download.
Yeah.
Basically, an interactive manual.
Yeah, it feels like maybe a missed opportunity. That instant wow factor Wii Sports had seems absent.
And now, on top of the high game prices, we have these potential tariff impacts, making the console itself potentially more expensive.
Exactly. Analysts are already predicting the U.S. price could jump from the announced $449.99 to maybe $530 because of Trump's proposed tariffs.
That's a big jump. The Mario Kart bundle was $499.99 essentially. Then boom, U.S. and Canadian pre-orders get delayed specifically because of tariffs.
Yeah, and DFC Intelligence actually lowered their sales forecast for Switch 2 next year because of pricing and these supply worries. That's not insignificant.
Nintendo's in a really tricky spot. Doug Bowser told The Verge the initial tariffs weren't baked into that $449 price because they'd moved manufacturing.
To Vietnam and Cambodia, right? Trying to get ahead of it.
But now these new proposed tariffs are huge. 46% on Vietnam, 49% on Cambodia. Bowser admitted that's a real challenge.
A challenge is putting it mildly. He said they're actively assessing it, which is basically what they said about the pre-order delay.
And analyst Daniel Ahmad noted these reciprocal tariffs are higher than expected. The ESA, the industry body, also weighed in, saying this hurts the whole U.S. games industry.
Meanwhile, pre-orders are going ahead elsewhere. Just North America left hanging. Will they eat the cost, raise prices, shift production again? Big questions.
Okay, let's switch gears completely. Star Citizen.
Oh, boy. $800 million.
Over $800 million in funding now. It hit $700 million just last May.
So another $100 million in less than a year. That's just wild. For a game that started on Kickstarter in 2012 and still doesn't have a 1.0 release date.
The community's commitment is undeniable. CEO Chris Roberts said back in March they're working towards the finish line, but...
We've heard that before, haven't we? Although Squadron 42, the single-player part, does have a target window 2026.
And that cast. Gary Oldman, Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson. It's stacked. They're definitely pouring resources into that.
Definitely. Okay, moving on to another ongoing saga. Ubisoft and The Crew shut down lawsuit.
Right. Ubisoft has formally responded. Their argument is essentially, you bought a license, not the game itself.
A limited license to access the game, not unfettered ownership. That's the core of so many digital debates, isn't it?
It really is. The players who sued back in November felt misled. Ubisoft says, look, you got to play the game. We told you the terms.
But the players have come back with an amended complaint. They're pointing to things like the in-game currency, the gift certificates.
Saying those shouldn't expire under California law, and now they're worthless because the game's offline.
And they also pointed out the physical box code says it's valid until 2099, which, kind of implies long-term access.
Yeah, that's an awkward detail for Ubisoft. They have until April 29th to respond to this amended complaint. This could be a landmark case.
Meanwhile, modders are apparently trying to bring the game back online themselves.
Always resourceful, the modding community.
Yes.
Okay, some brighter news. Hades 2 is coming to Switch.
Yes. And importantly, for both the original Switch and Switch 2, it's a timed console exclusive for Nintendo platforms.
That's great news for current Switch owners. The game hit PC Early Access last May, starring Millennium this time.
And Supergent confirmed the version 1.0 launch will be simultaneous Steam, Epic, Switch 2, and the original Switch. No date yet, but early access runs through 2025.
Nice. And speaking of long-awaited things, Baldur's Gate 3's final big update, Patch 8, lands April 15th.
This sounds like a hefty one. Crossplay is finally coming.
Yes. Crossplay, photo mode, split-screen co-op for Xbox Series S finally gets added.
And new subclasses for all 12 classes. That's a ton of new content.
It really is. They did stress testing on PC, so hopefully it's smooth. Lorien's also got a 20% discount on Steam running till the 21st.
Kind of a bittersweet moment, though, since Lorien's moving on from Baldur's Gate and D&D for their next project.
Yeah, but Wizards of the Coast is looking for partners for a potential sequel, so the franchise likely continues just with someone else.
Interesting. Okay, Diablo 4. Blizzard laid out the 2025 roadmap.
And confirmed another full expansion for 2026, plus a new ranking system, leaderboards, and they teased a new class, Hidden in Flames. Very mysterious.
But the big news for many console players.
Keyboard and mouse support, finally coming permanently in 2025.
Yep, that's huge. Okay, so the 2025 seasons. April-July is Belial's return. Belial and 2 Vessel of Hatred bosses join the Lair boss system.
Plus an earnable cat pet, apparently, and a new IP collab.
Then July-September is Sins of the Horadrim. That revisits Nightmare Dungeons, adds new activities, ways to ramp up intensity.
And that's when the keyboard and mouse support lands. Plus, another earnable pet.
Finally, September-December brings Infernal Chaos. Updates to Infernal Hordes, new Chaos powers, more options between waves, another pet, and another IP collab.
Sounds like a busy year for Diablo fans. They're keeping the content flowing.
Definitely. New for something. Different. Date. Everything got its release date.
The game where you date, like, furniture.
Pretty much. Anthropomorphic objects, chairs, toasters, you name it. It's out June 17th for PC, PS5, Switch, and Xbox Series XS.
It certainly has a unique premise. And a surprisingly big voice cast, right? Felicia Day, Laura Bailey.
Yeah, lots of cameos. It definitely makes you raise an eyebrow.
Okay, Fortnite news. Sabrina Carpenter is heading to Fortnite Festival.
That's right. The Grammy winner is the next big music star, getting her own skins, a music pass, her tracks, Juno, and Nonsense playable.
Following artists like Lady Gaga and The Weeknd, it's becoming a regular thing.
Yeah, fun fact, she was actually in Just Dance Kids 2 way back when.
No way. Also, rumors of a Star Wars miniseason coming up soon.
That's the buzz, yeah, after the current season ends. We'll see.
Okay, on to a bit of a leak. Mafia. The Old Country's release date seems to have slipped out.
Whoops. Yeah, a Steam post accidentally revealed August 8th, 2025.
That's probably something they wanted to announce at their PAX East panel on May 8th. Awkward.
Very awkward. The post confirmed PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC via Steam. And Sicilian voice acting with Italian subtitles is confirmed too.
Setting the scene for early 1900s Sicily. Should be atmospheric.
Definitely. Now, the Minecraft movie, the audience reactions have been something else.
Oh, the chicken jockey thing with Jack Black's line.
Yeah, that's gone viral. But it's spilled over into, well, chaos in some theaters. Reports of popcorn throwing, screaming the line, recording the screen.
Yikes. Even police intervention in at least one case.
That's what's reported. It sounds like some younger audiences are getting really carried away.
The director, Jared Hess, though, his reaction was surprising. Call it way too funny. Said they're having a true party.
Yeah, he seemed okay with it, even the popcorn throwing, which is a take. But obviously that kind of behavior ruins it for others.
True. There's enjoying a movie, and then there's disrupting the whole cinema.
Right. Okay, sticking with movies, Angry Birds 3 is happening.
Really? They're making another one?
Yep. Planned for January 29th, 2027, which puts it up against the new Zelda and Sonic movies expected that year. It's getting crowded.
Wow. The main voice cast is back. Sudeikis, Gad.
Yeah, them, Rachel Bloom, Danny McBride, plus new additions like Keek Palmer and Lily James. John Rice directs again.
The first two did well, didn't they? And Minecraft's doing numbers, Sonic's over 1 billion. I guess the video game movie boom is still booming.
Seems like it. We've got Mario 2 in 2026, then Sonic 4 and Zelda in 2027. Big franchises hitting the screen.
Not all adaptations are smooth sailing, though. Sounds like the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Tomb Raider series at Amazon might be done for.
Yeah, reports from the Daily Mail are calling it dead. Sounds like Sophie Turner wasn't going to star either.
And Jennifer Salk, who championed it, left Amazon MGM Studios. Plus, apparently Waller-Bridge hadn't actually delivered a script after multiple writers' rooms.
That's the report. Significant development costs, but no script. Amazon hasn't officially canceled it, but doesn't look good.
Shame. Though the game is still happening, right? Crystal Dynamics and Amazon are still working on the next Tomb Raider game in Unreal Engine 5.
That's right. The gaming side seems secure.
Okay, last bit of news, and it's a weird one. Elon Musk apparently rage quit a Path of Exile 2 stream.
Yeah, that's the story. Apparently, viewers were mocking him for dying repeatedly to an early boss on hardcore mode.
Oh, dear. Some comments got personal, apparently.
Yeah.
And he just bailed after like 30 minutes.
That's what a tweet claimed. It's funny because he'd previously bragged about being top tier in Diablo 4 and his PoE 2 skills even got temporarily banned for bragging.
And there were those accusations he paid people to level his account, too.
Exactly. So, maybe not the gaming god he presents himself as. Just goes to show, online communities can be brutal, even to billionaires.
Especially to billionaires, maybe. Right, well, that wraps up another pretty intense week in gaming news.
For sure. From Switch 2 pricing gymnastics and tariff headaches to Star Citizen's endless funding, the ongoing digital ownership questions with Ubisoft, and movie theater antics.
It's definitely been varied. Lots of moving parts across the industry.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? With rising costs, these ownership debates, how we interact with games and game properties, what does the future look like for us as players?
What experiences, what kind of value are we actually looking for now? Definitely something to mull over.
Absolutely. Food for thought until next time on the Game Loop Recap.